Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Review. Hello everybody and welcome to another 5 random reviews. So I really have quite the gamut today and I'm probably going to have to read the backs of some of these ones again. But these are all books that I've given 5 stars to in the past, one of them even 6 stars, I believe. And I decided I wanted to talk about them and see what I remember about them after all this time. But they're all books that I've loved before, some of them going back quite a ways, okay? But I just picked 5 random books off the shelf. A couple of them I straight up closed my eyes to poke at, and a couple of them I was like, ooh, that's pretty. I want to talk about that one today. So that's what we're going to do. I'll have links to all of these books down below. So yeah, definitely click on that if you would like to purchase those. That always helps the channel. Even if you use the link and you end up not buying the book I recommended, but you're getting some other stuff, all of it helps out the channel here so much. And I appreciate that. So without further ado, let's get into these. And like I said, I think we're going to read the backs of each of these, or the ones that have the back still on them, the description. And then I will tell you what I remember about them and how much I like them, because I think that will be the most fun thing to do today. Sorry, my computer. I'm going to need that for one of these. I just realized because it's a special edition and doesn't have the blurb on the back. Oh my goodness. Okay, so first up, this book is just so beautiful. I love it so much. We have Barbarous by Minerva Spencer. Now, this is book 2 in the Outcast trilogy, which spins off into some other books from Minerva Spencer. This is one of her Trab Pub books. It was done with Zebra. And the book 1 I show often is, I believe, Dangerous. There's Dangerous, Barbarous, and Outrageous. And this one particularly, I think, is so cool. I believe this one is Uncle's, like, dead uncle's wife or something. So, I mean, technically like an aunt or whatever. But let me read the back of this and then I'll tell you what I loved about it, because Minerva Spencer, she writes some very unique plots and also some very spicy stories. This one isn't by any means for the spice. This one, though, has great tension. Like, this has fabulous tension and, like, chemistry between the characters. So this one says, he could be her ruin. Hugh Redvers is supposed to be dead, so the appearance of the sun-bronzed giant with the piratical black eye patch is deeply disturbing to Lady Daphne Davenport, and her instant attraction to the notorious privateer is not only wildly inappropriate for a proper widow, but potentially disastrous, because he is also the man Daphne has secretly cheated out of title, lands, and fortune. She could be his salvation. Daphne Redvers' distant, untouchable beauty and eminently touchable body are hard enough to resist, but the prim, almost severe way she looks at him suggests this might be the one woman who can make him forget all the others. His only challenge, unearthing the enemy who threatens her life and uncovering the secrets in her cool blue eyes. So, reading that description, instantly so much of this book came back. This is going to be a fun video to make, okay? So, to give a bit of background here, if you have read Dangerous, you'll know who Hugh is. In Dangerous, that heroine was kept prisoner of a sheik and actually forced to have, she was kept a slave in the Middle East, and when her ship was stolen, when she was on the way to like a finishing school or whatever, and she was on the ship that I believe, was she on? I think it was Hugh's ship that she was on, even. I can't quite remember now. But either way, he had something to do with her rescue, or was rescued when she was rescued, or escaped, but then been trying to get her back. Like, I can't remember how it was, but he had something to do with that one. And so that, I believe, is why Hugh is gone all this time, is that, like, she was held as, like, a captive and made one of the brides of the sheik. And I think he was kept as, like, a slave for labor purposes, if I'm correct on that. Correct me if I'm wrong here. But he comes back now, and he was like basically believed to be dead. And Daphne was married to his uncle, and previously Hugh was the heir. And now Daphne has twin boys. She has twin boys. And like it's basically said in this, those boys are not her uncle or were her husbands. But the thing is, he knew that. So this uncle was very old. He didn't have any heirs, and Hugh was his heir. But Hugh has been gone. And so this title would have possibly been sent on to someone else anyway. And he kindly married Daphne to give her and her children a home. So I won't go any deeper into that. You'll find out all the details, how that was pulled off and what happened. But now that man is dead. And so her sons, or, you know, one of the twins is the heir now, fraudulently, as it were, right? And Hugh is now alive and back. And if he were to find out that these sons were not, you know, aren't really his cousins, he would be the heir. And that is why Daphne is so threatened by him. Right? But the thing is, Hugh, does he really want to be, is it even an earl? I don't know what the title would be. I can't remember. Hugh doesn't even really care about that. He's just more intrigued by this woman and is unsure if maybe she hoodwinked his uncle or something like that. So there's this like natural tension between the two of them where like he's trying to figure her out and she's trying to hide her secret, but they're both really attracted to each other. And yeah, so she's a single mom, a widow, and she has a lot of secrets. So love this. I love the covers of these books, by the way. They're just stunning. So definitely recommend that series for sure. Okay. Let's do another one that is a real throwback here. This one, I love this one. This one never gets enough love. This is The Rivalry by Nikki Sloan. And this is one of her, like, this one's new adult. This is a college romance. It's a standalone, which is super rare. Like, not a ton of authors write a standalone college romance. Like, that just doesn't happen. But this one, this is one of the ones that I got signed when I met her because I just love this book. So this is what this one says, and then I'll explain it. This says, the tight end is at the top of his game. He's good with his hands, even better with his sexy mouth, and the best at making me forget my own name. His stats are perfect, but I can't fall for him. He might be everything I want, all rolled into a glorious package of gridiron god, but there's one teeny tiny problem. The vile, loathsome team I've spent my entire life hating, my beloved school's arch rival. This guy is their star player. So the way that this book starts out is these two, which it's Kayla and Jay, they meet at a wedding actually, and they don't know who each other are. And they are, I think, from like opposite sides. And they go to this wedding and they have a super great connection. They almost have a one-night stand. They don't end up having a one-night stand. But again, they don't know who each other are when they almost have that one-night stand. But then they find out who he is, or she finds out who he is, and she is a cheerleader for the rival team. So that's where the arch rival part comes in. And not only that, her dad's the coach, and she's a cheerleader for that team. So he is like public enemy number one, school enemy number one. Now, Jay, he doesn't give two shits about that. He's just super into this chick who they seem to absolutely click. And he's like, I don't care. And she's like, no, you don't understand. Like, this is a big deal. Your school would be pissed. My dad would be pissed. My team might kick me off. She's at the top of the cheer team. Is it cheer or dance? I can't remember, but either way, I know she is in that. But he just is relentless in trying to win her over. I also truly love this one because this is, you know, of course Nikki Sloan can't write a book like this and not have some kind of kink come into it. And I really love this one because this is one of those ones, right? I know this trope is super well known these days too. She has trouble orgasming. And what I really like in this one is for them being like, I believe they're like 22 and 23 or 21 and 22. The discussions they have about her being like, hey, I'm having a lot of fun fooling around with you. We can even have sex. I need you to not try to force me to come if I'm not feeling it. Like, I am enjoying my time with you. It doesn't have to end in that for me. And that is a discussion I rarely see because it's also a huge like ego thing. And he's also like, let me take the time. He's like, I'm not in a rush. Some of the other guys you've been with may have been in a rush. And it's more than just like, I want to be the guy who gets you there. He's like, you deserve someone to take the time to work out your pleasure with you. So I really love that about these two. The rivalry really does become the third act conflict, but in a super interesting way. And I really love these two. And also, like, what will her parents think? Like, literally, this girl is born at a football game almost, too. So these are a fictionalized team, but they're definitely based on some real, like, rivalries in here and everything, too. So, yeah. There we go. Love the rivalry. Doesn't get enough attention in Nikki Sloan's backlist by any means, but those of you who are into Devney Perry or Elle Kennedy, that is a book you should read, like truly. I need to make a post that's like, if you like this, read this about it. Okay, we'll do the other sports romance right now. Let's talk about The Boyfriend Goal again, okay? The Love and Hockey series, which there are now 5 books out, and I've given them all, I believe, 4.5, 5, or even 6 stars. Like they've all been, this has been a 4-star plus series for me. I love it. This one I think I gave 5 stars. I think if I'm thinking right, I gave this one 5, and then I gave 4.5, then a 4, then a 5, and then a 6, or then a 6 and then a 5. Book 4 is the one I gave 6 stars to, but this is the one that started it off, and I was so hooked in this series. Now, I will tell you, the one downside to this series is the books are pretty long, but the audiobooks are all duet narration and they have a full cast. So if you like audiobooks, if you listen to these, you'll get through it really quickly. But I mean, they are a bit bigger books. I think Lauren Blakely just has millions and millions of words in her head. It's crazy. But let me read the back of this one and we'll continue. So, a forbidden romance with my brother's hockey teammate wasn't on my to-do list when I moved across the country. Okay, so here's what this one says. Neither was getting locked out of my friend's place wearing next to nothing, or spending the night with a sexy stranger who rescues me. But I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone, so getting out of the rest of my clothes with him seems like a good way to start. In the morning, I learn the filthy-mouthed man with the talented hands is not only the new hotshot hockey player on my brother's team, he also is my brand new roommate. I'm a good student turned good librarian, a rule follower. I'm not the kind of girl who does complicated flings, so we agree to another rule. Friends only. It's not easy, though. Wes is bossy, flirty, and generous. He gives me rides to work, pitches in at my library's fundraiser, takes care of me when I get hurt, and looks at me like I'm the only one. Soon, I'm falling hard for my brother's teammate, especially when Wes comes to my door and tells me exactly how he'd like to break our rules. Every single one. So this one, oh, it's so adorable. It's just like it explains, like they have a one-night stand, then she finds out she ends up being his roommate because her brother, who is the team captain, asks if one of the guys has a spare room that his sister can stay in until she gets into her new like rental space or whatever. And so she ends up staying in one of his bedrooms there. And she's there supposedly, I think, for only a 3-month stint while she does like an internship, or she has a grant to work at a library there. I also love their connection because he has dyslexia, and so he is really touched by like her interest in audiobooks and making more audiobooks available for kids with dyslexia. And I believe this is the one where she has a list of things to do that her aunt gave her. And he helps her check off things on her bucket list as well. So this was just so sweet. This is the ultimate like one night stand to friends, to lovers. And this whole series just has some of the sweetest relationships. Like truly, it's why I don't mind how long it is. I love the found family. I love the team. And truly, the heroes in this series are beyond swoony, you guys, okay? They are so much swoon, okay? And Wes definitely is that for sure. So, love, 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 love. Okay, now I have the one that is a serious throwback here. And I have this gorgeous edition to hold up. So cute. We have Before I Ever Met You by Karina Halley. This edition is from, is it Dark and Quirky did this one? No, this one was Bell Book Box, and one of my friends actually sent me this copy. I actually think I like the cover better of it. So let me put that back on. But this one is a dad's best friend and also an office romance. So let me read this one here. Also a single mom. So that's cool. So it says this. When I first met William McAllister, I was just a teenager. He was handsome, he had a beautiful wife, and was on the verge of success, having just joined my father as his business partner. Mr. McAllister was full of smooth charm, but back then he was barely a blip on my radar, just a family friend. Fast forward 10 years, now I am 25 years old and I'm a single mom trying to make things right for her 7-year-old son. I've made some mistakes, grappled with my demons, and now I'm back in the city of Vancouver getting a chance at a better life. I've started by working for my father's production company as an executive assistant, and your first day on the job, you know that you could have a promising career. I know I could have a promise. That is until I see Will McAllister for the first time in a decade. Now recently divorced and as sophisticated as ever, Will has gone from being my father's friend to business partner to something so much more. So very, very close friends with her dad. We're both older for one thing, and he just oozes this worldly confidence and stark sexuality, combined with his tall, muscular build and sharp suits, strong jaw, and bedroom eyes. Will has turned into one hell of a distraction. A distraction I'm having a hard time staying away from, considering his office is right across from my desk, and I work with him in such close proximity. But it's a harmless crush, right? It's just an innocent fantasy of screwing him on his desk, right? It can't ever be more because he's my father's best friend and business partner. And my boss, right? Wrong is what it says. So yeah, this is one that I just love so much. And I like that it's a pretty, like, it's a shorter one. It doesn't drag it on and on for ages and ages. And I just really like how once he's sure that he likes her, he doesn't really quibble so much about like, oh, what is your dad gonna think? Or, oh, how's this gonna work? He's like, no, Jackie, you're the one for me. We're going to make it work. I love your kid. Like, let's make it happen. So I really appreciate that about this. Now, yeah, Karina Halley, guys, she's written so many books. She's so prolific. And I think this is a really great one to give a try to if you haven't. Very much his backlist. I think this one is over 10 years old. Let me see. Okay, almost 10 years old. It's from 2017. So we're getting there for sure. Okay, and then the last one I want to share is one that I used to talk about all the time and I still love so much. It's my favorite book by Serena Ackroyd, and that is Filthy Rich here, which this one is book 2 in the 5 Points Mob collection. As I say multiple times, I highly recommend books like 1 through 7 in the series, and then it got a little bonkers for me. But for sure, you can read books like 1 through 4 without it getting too complicated. And there's some very strong books to me, okay? They definitely are. And this one is an arranged marriage, and this is what this one says here. It says, this is the story of Owen O'Donnelly. It says, as the baby of the O'Donnelly clan, I was shoved down the aisle first. The bruises on my face tell a tale of their own. I didn't want this marriage. The bruises on my bride's face, they stir the monster in me. Someone touched my property. I'm Irish mob. We kill to protect our women. We reap nightmares of those who harm them, and I'm the biggest nightmare of them all. Sorry, it stopped me a second because I was like, what bruises do they want? Yeah, so he's forced into this. He's also ex-military, and he's the one who basically has the least pull in the family, and they're supposed to be making this connection with the Bratva. And so he's supposed to marry Anessa, who is, I think, the literally like 18-year-old daughter of the Bratva, and she's getting pushed into this, and she's threatened into it. And when she's walking down the aisle, she literally has makeup covering her bruises, and he notices, and he literally says to her, like, who did this to you? Like, tell me who did this, and they're done for. Like, immediately he's like, I will protect you. And what I love even more is after he like threatens the shit out of her father, because her father's the one who did it, he takes her home and she's expecting to be ravaged on her wedding day and all that, and he's like, girl, we're not gonna do that. Like, we're married, the alliance is here, I don't have to fuck you right now. Like, let's just chill. And he actually just like hangs out with her. He's also like, I don't feel too good about having sex with a woman who looks bruised and battered. Like, let's wait until we feel like we want to. And she's like, well, what if I never want to? And he's like, I have a feeling you will want to. So let's just wait. But I love it. I love how possessive he gets. It still lives rent free in my brain. that scene when he sees her and is like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we don't treat our women that way, so what the hell is going on, right? And I mean, the Bratva is a whole fucking mess in the series anyway. They're our main kind of like enemy going on in here. But I also really like Owen, him having been like in the military. He's not quite as brainwashed into everything as his brothers aren't all brainwashed, but like they have a good dad, but he's also an asshole, and it's not like he was nice to them, but they also respect him, and he's not evil the way that some of the Mafia Dons are. This whole series is just full of twists and turns, but as for like singular romances go, books 1 through 5 have very good, like, it's just about the two of them. It's when the wider world starts to happen, it gets crazy, but I still recommend this. You could read this as a standalone. You can pop in and get this one. This one very much was like, there are books by Neva Altai that this book reminds me of, right? Like this one very much, I would say to people, like, if you like Broken Whispers, you will like this, right? They're not exactly the same, but it's that same vibe of like, if you like that, you'll like this, you know? So highly, highly recommend. It never gets old. It's fantastic. Give it a go. So there we go. Look at us. We made through this one pretty quickly, but I just wanted to point out some that maybe you haven't thought about in a long time. Some of my longtime viewers, maybe you've read every single one of those. Maybe you'd forgotten, but yeah, I just wanted to recommend some that are kind of all over the map to see if you're interested. And again, I'll have them all linked down below. So thank you so much for watching, my friends, and I'll see you next time. Bye.